Let's take care of that music. Let's go back over here to comments. You know, we're good. All right, here's no joking matter here. No joking matter. A lot of things going on today, yesterday, today, this weekend, the whole way through. I wish I could tell you they're all fun. They're not. They're definitely not. You know, the hurricane that's come up the coast, it looks like it's ravaged parts of Florida. You know, we definitely wish all those that are going through that the very best that can be. Hopefully, the damage is kind of extensive. Safety factor is there. All the rescue folks can get in there, do what it is that they need to do. So definitely wish you all the best when it comes to that. Then I believe it's coming up into the Carolinas. It's 1 o'clock, 1:02 in the afternoon here on Friday. I can't give you the weather forecast, the weather report on that one, but certainly our eastern seaboard, southern states, they're definitely going to see this. We're going to wind up having rain over the next couple of days. That's pretty much an absolute. Question is how much? Don't know, but it's enough where it's impacting so many different things. So many of these outdoor activities. Certainly, you know, the drag racing and stuff like that impacting everything. Uh, this weekend, I'll be at Calverton and a few other places all have been I don't know, canceled, postponed, whatever the wording is on that one, but no reason this weekend. So from the Calverton standpoint, that'd be next weekend, not this one. Next weekend, big stuff going on. So that should be really exciting as that goes. The other side of it too, a bunch of friends going through different things. So again, hopefully you all have quick, full recoveries on that one too. Just crazy, right? I mean, here we are. It just seems like there's so many things that people are having to deal with, you know, at the moment. There's no way to really make light of that, but I do hope in the end we all come out a little better, a little bit stronger on that one. Sounds beautiful. Definitely not going to be the case to some of the folks down in Florida. That is an absolute shame. You know, I guess we could take the spin on this whole thing, which probably inappropriate, you know, about, you know, we go through tough times and what we learn from those times definitely makes us stronger. That's very true. But well, what I guess I just did tie it in with a natural disaster as that goes. It's not a good thing. But we do continue to learn. And that's actually what I really wanted to chat about, you know, here today about this continuing to learn thing. You know, it it seems like we always have. It doesn't seem like we always do. We always do have different ways to improve ourselves each and every day. We have different ways of keeping ourselves motivated each and every day. If you haven't seen this video about the one of the folks, I think it was an admiral in the Navy, he gave a great speech, not about our military, not about how to lead men and women into battle, but how, or more specifically, why to make your bed. Yep, not exactly an expected topic, but it was. Talked about the mental aspect of making your bed. A nice, clean, get something done in the morning start and get the day going, get the day moving in the direction that it should, get that feeling of accomplishment each and every day. Great, challenging. I don't know. Is it really that hard to make your bed in the morning? Shouldn't be that hard to do. Do you have to make it as the bed like some of the folks in the military do? Well, I don't think that's really 100% necessary, but a good clean start to the day absolutely is. And a good clean attitude with starting the day absolutely is. And that attitude, the way I see it, and I wish I could tell you I practice it all the time. I am not sitting here it's on some podium saying, "Oh, this is what I do." You know how great that is. You know, but it does have to do with looking at each day as some sort of a way to learn, some moment in there, some moment in there to pick up something new, different, better, more time efficient, anything like that. You know, and if Every day, if you can make every day become some sort of a learning moment each and every day, and look at those challenges that we go through as something to learn from, those mistakes we made, not as failures. Gosh, am I glad I'm sitting here alone. Every time I use that word, somebody comes up around the back of me and smacks me in the head. Failure? You didn't fail. You didn't fail. You only fail if you quit. Okay, so I've changed the word on that. Every time you come up with a less than desired outcome, didn't get hit on that one. Less than desired outcome, it still is a learning experience. And I learned how not to get hit in the back of the head. Don't use the word failure. Oh, I failed. Bam. Less than desired outcome. I'm watching these videos over here. I'm watching a lot of videos about taking photos, photography, automobile photography, as you might imagine, how to get pictures of cars, how to use f-stop, shutter speed. Not so much as about light. It's interesting, but these are all daytime shots. Oh, some of them were not. Some are nighttime shots. But shutter speed, panning, all the rest of this stuff. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? I take photos, I come back, it's like, ah, if I get one photo in there that I really like, it's a lot. And it's nothing compared to what Matty Wassey's been taking photos out at the track. Nothing like that. He got that one car with the wheels up. Oh, it was like beautiful. I could come up with excuses. Yeah, he was in the right spot. I was behind the car, not front. There's no way. It's actually true. That's the one part of this thing. That's actually a good factor. Another factor, actually, he spent a few more dollars on his lenses than I did. He told me what lens to buy. I ran out and bought it. So I don't have that excuse anymore. But here's the one thing that he has done that I've yet to do. And I spoke to another gentleman who's a professional photographer. And I asked him, it's like, how do you get those shots? And he told me, he said, Brian, I have probably taken more than 100,000 photos over my career. I didn't ask Matty how many photos he had to take to get that one shot with the wheels up. Didn't ask him if he had it on continuous photo with the wheels up. The video I watched over here, there was a woman talking about going to a racetrack and taking photos and that. One of the questions asked was, of those photos you take, how many come out to your liking? Her answer was 10 or 15. Maybe more that could be used, but to her liking was 10 to 15. Okay. Oh, well and good. Doesn't really mean anything to you, does it? No. Not until you put it in context. Then it actually means something. How many photos do you take during the course of the day to get those 10 or 15 photos? So, at least 500. Whoa. You mean to tell me this woman, who's a professional photographer, who's on camera, recorded interview, is willing to say that she has to take 500 photos on average, take 500 photos, and she gets maybe 10 or 15 shots. And she was not talking about, I'm going out there to experiment stuff. She was going out there and doing the thing that she does, doing the thing that she knows to do. 10 or 15, that's what, 2%? 500, yeah, 2, 3% of the photos she took, 2 or 3% are good enough photos for her to say that she likes them. That's a 97% failure rate? Or is that a 90% less than desired outcome rate? Or probably more positively put, is that a 97, 98% learning curve rate? Now, we could be all mature and look at it and say, that's a 98% learning curve rate. That's a great thing. I think Albert Einstein had mentioned something like that. The question is not if you fail. or that you fail. The question is, do you fail fast enough? He's right. He's right. My gray hairs are coming. My gray hairs are here. Let's not kid ourselves. I don't think I'm failing a less than desired outcome fast enough. Need to do more, need to do more, need to do more. And just keep doing that. So now here's the other question that goes along with that. She did it in front of the camera. It was recorded. She was being interviewed here. She went with somebody, she was teaching them how to do it. And she was fully, fully outright with the fact that she took those 500 photos. And it was on camera. And it could have been edited. And it wasn't. That portion of it, as far as I know, was not edited. Let me tell you something. That woman's got massive credibility in my book because she talked about the reality of it. He was authentic in the respect that she does not get a perfect photo with every shot. Doesn't happen. Another video I was watching. This gentleman's from the Carolinas, North Carolina. Takes all kinds of photos at racetracks, NASCAR, Formula One, drag racing. He's drag racing. It was the wildest thing he ever did. He was talking about the cars. One of the questions that came up with him was he did the 24 hours of Daytona, 24-hour race at Daytona. And he mentioned about the fact that, the sun rises, sun sets. You get two opportunities for that because it's a 24-hour race. And then there was another question that came up about, well, how often do you get a chance to take photos of the car? How long on average, until they come around the track? And he said with most of the races he covers, it's a minute, 2 minutes, something like that. Think of the road courses at Daytona or Watkins Glen or something along those lines. Roughly 2 minutes. It changes, of course, but something like that. You go to the Nürburgring, it's once every 8 minutes. Much tougher. He's getting hired not to just take photos, in many cases, not to take photos of cars racing, but of the sponsor of the car company or the sponsor that has paid him to be there once every 8 minutes. Man, that's a challenge, isn't it? To get a picture of a car doing, I don't know, 150, 200 miles an hour, maybe a little bit slower if he's at a turn, something like that, but once every 8 minutes. And if it's not a 24-hour race, you got fewer shots at the whole thing to make it work that way. Different challenge between just going out there and taking photos, and now he's taking photos for a specific car company or sponsor or whatever. He did the drag race. He only spoke about it for a few seconds. Maybe that's fitting. But he said it was an incredible experience trying to take pictures, taking photos. He said taking photos of the drag races. And I'm thinking, wow, what a whole different set of environments that is. Daytime, nighttime racing at the longer races. Once every 2 minutes or so to get a chance of your car coming around that track. Once every 8 minutes over at the Nürburgring. And he's got to know when the car is coming up. And I really wonder how he does that. Because now you got a road course, right? And he's at one spot. He's at probably ground level. Maybe he's on a step stool or something like that to get over the fencing to take those photos. And he explained how to do that. But then you got that kind of a challenge. Drag racing, that car's passing you once, a couple of times throughout the day, but once, to go and get it. And I don't know how more challenging that is because you know exactly where the car is and you know exactly when the car is going to leave, as opposed to the Nürburgring where like 8 minutes, like, oh, here comes the car. It's different. But here's the one thing that he consistently said, and it was practice, practice, practice. Got to keep on practicing. Got to go out there, take the camera out and shoot. Shoot different shutter speeds, make it work that way. Shoot different aperture values, make it work that way. Understand, try panning, try body language, holding the camera in a certain way. This way you can do the panning shots, the rest of that stuff. But consistently across the board with everything, it's about practice. Another video I was watching, this is about this other drag racing thing. These were not the top fuel stuff, more the some pro mod cars and some street cars that were made. It was like, all they're looking to do is get down that track and learn from whatever it was, getting down that track and practicing again. So that's it. That's the message of the day here is that it's all about practice. It's all about continuously trying to do better and better. All right. So where does that go with you? One, I think the attitude of the whole thing is one, start off the day with the right attitude. Make your bed, okay? Make your bed, make your to-do list, have your to-do list. Now understand that today is going to be not a day of complete success, but today is going to be a day where you are going to have some learning experience thrown into the equation someplace and go with that. Do you worry about failure? Well, here's the question. Do you allow others to see yourself with that less than desired outcome? Are you willing to go out and do something and screw up in public view? Some people are good with that. Some people not so good with that. On the public speaking side of things, I got a feeling those that are really, really nervous about public speaking are afraid of maybe not the speaking, maybe not even the words, but the idea that if I fail, if I have a less than desired outcome, it's going to be in front of everybody. Comfortable or not? Well, only you can answer that question. So there are different ways to build up your comfort level when it comes to either speaking. So now you have a higher level of self confidence, you have a higher degree of knowledge within you that that speech you are going to give, that presentation you are going to give, maybe it's an award you're going to accept. You're going to do it with grace and you're going to do it with confidence and you're going to be successful at it. I'm sure you will, but you got to have that confidence to go out there and do it. So it's a matter of practice, 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 practice in different places. Doesn't have to be exactly in front of that audience. If you're going to be speaking in front of 100 people, speak in front of 10 someplace else. Just get in front of people. Make some small announcement, try something, but you got to be confident in failing. So, so I'm not sitting here as someone who's just willing to do this. So I'm going to try something new. I wanted to, and I have been showing you various photos along the way. And these photos are nothing crazy. It's not that, but I'm jumping to another screen, another shared screen in order to make it work. And I figured out some way to do it where I'm still able to see some of the other screens that are there. And I have only one monitor and I use StreamYard. And they had mentioned if you're going to use a shared screen, it is so much easier if you have a second monitor. And I'm thinking, nah, I don't need a second monitor. I can do this. Plus, I don't really have the space for a second monitor. Plus, I could come up with another dozen excuses why I don't have a second monitor. Would I love a second monitor? Yeah, absolutely. You want to know ideally where it should be? I'll tell you ideally where it should be. Not to the left of me over here. All right. But the camera's right here. I'm looking at the camera, obviously, because I'm looking at you. You can see me in the camera. But if I had the monitor behind me, and if I had that monitor behind me, I'd be making eye contact with you. I'd be able to see the photos over there as opposed to turning this way or trying to use my peripheral vision. Whoop, that's what I try to do. Try to see what's going on because I can see the monitor here, even though I'm looking there. But what I can't see is what button to press to get to the next photo. That's my little internal challenge over here. this goes this goes to tell you where if you're doing something from home or if you're doing something by yourself, not with a producer or somebody else helping you along the way, it becomes quite a bit more challenging to do on different things you want to add into it. Granted, the expense is minimal. I've spent if you want to include the computer, which is probably unfair, but I spent maybe $1,000. You know the thing? Those two lights that are back here, right? You can see them over there. Those two lights that are back there, they look like two eyeballs, which I probably should use. That would think that was like $80. I got a Logitech camera. That was roughly $100, maybe a little bit more, $120, something like that. So we're at $200. The computer, $600. You can get something a little bit fancier. You really don't need it, whatever. But it was like $600 for the computer. StreamYard has got a couple of different versions in there. I think what I'm paying right now is $10 a month. I can get the one for $20 a month. I can put this on various platforms. That's about that. So that's $240 a year plus the other equipment, $1,000, something like that, plus the $240 a year. That'll continue on and on, but that's it. Not much. You want to go to a studio and spend a couple of bucks? Hey, you know what's going to happen? Your level of professionalism will increase because you will be able to just focus on that camera, your content, that camera. Makes it a lot easier to do. All right. And then there's other ways of going about doing this thing. If you don't want to use camera, you can just do podcasts, all the rest of that stuff. Those are different people, by the way, I do work with and refer to as that goes along. But I wanted to do this partially to show you the fact that you can do these things from home here. But I definitely want to be completely transparent is that you do run into certain stuff along the way, and that is a learning curve. And you need to be comfortable learning. You need to be comfortable with the less than desired outcome. And you do whatever it is you need to do in order to get to that, where you can be more confident in failing. All right, so now here's my opportunity to fail in front of you. Here's what I want to do. So when I take here and I add this to the stream, that's Tomato Talk. It's a slide. I can go to the next slide. I forgot what is even there. The Portchef Hill Climb. I heard that went great. I was out at Capleton on that one. So for me to move from one slide to another, I press the little button and it goes from slide to slide. This one I'm adding here, I'm going to remove that. This set of slides is, hey, Cat, good afternoon. This set of slides I put up on automatic. It should go one slide to the next. Got to get the term right on that one too. It should go one slide to the next. So let's see what happens over here. Slide one. Okay. As you can see, this is not moving. So I think we call this a less than desired outcome. That gentleman I'm with, he brought a jib with him and he was videotaping the cars from the jib right on the side of the track. He got some amazing footage out of the whole thing. He had me mic'd up that entire day. Yeah. Another one, was I willing to fail in front of people? That was not a fail in front of people. I don't know if it failed or not either because it just went to him and he was only going to use what was good on that one. But that's where that goes. So anyhow, that was that. The next slide is Susan. That's Susan. We're inside of Steve's shack. I don't know if I have a photo of Steve's shack from the outside in here. But anyhow, Susan, that's Pete in the background. Susan and her husband Steve are the ones that are operating the computers inside, making sure all the data gets inputted, stuff like that. She's been absolutely terrific. And you want a funny story? And I'm putting a twist on it to make it a little bit more humorous than what it was. But I was announcing from inside the tower, inside of Steve's shack. So she was listening to me speak. Then she was hearing it again, a split second later, whatever, but she was hearing it on the speaker, which is attached to the top of this thing. And then she's got headset on. So she's talking and listening to the track officials and everything else that's going on. In the worst way, she wanted me out of that shack. She's like, you got to go. And this is where opportunities come from different challenges. So her challenge is that she was listening to me talk. She didn't want to hear me talk. She said, you got to get out of here. So we started out with a piece of paper with the drivers, numbers and all the rest of that stuff. And then she eventually figured out, her and her husband figured out how to take the monitor and put it outside and give me the announcing monitor screen. Phenomenal. So we did that last weekend. Saturday didn't, Sunday did. It was really, really terrific. Loved the whole thing. So we're always looking to improve about that. So anyway, that's Susan. So bravo to you, Susan. You kicked me out. Congratulations. There's just one of the cars. I just picked one for the sake of it to just to see how this slideshow works, and obviously it didn't. This is one of the, this would be a pro mod car, super pro car, that comes down over there. Beautiful car. You know, he's trying to, I don't even know if this was with the new lens or not. I think it was with the new lens, you know, trying to practice, but I just picked any photo over here. And that is with the new lens. Phenomenal picture. It's my boot. Phenomenal, right? Whatever. I wanted to figure out that the f-stop on this thing about how to get the photo to focus in on one thing when everything else is kind of blurry in the background. And there's a lot of variables that go along with that as to which to do or not do. And trust me, I'm not the person to tell you that. But obviously, our little slideshow thing over here did not work. So let's get rid of that. Take care of the shoe. And that's where that one goes. So what's the overall message here? It's very simple. We all go through stuff. Some of it totally out of our control. That hurricane, totally out of our control. Can't do nothing about that. Health issues come up, sometimes totally out of our control. Some may be self-inflicted, but many are not self-inflicted. You break your arm? All right, well, you know, that was you probably had something to do with that. But even that's not a chronic illness. The chronic illnesses are definitely something challenge, long-term challenge. What do you do with them? It's tough. It's tough. It's the attitude of those chronic illnesses that is it. You got a business that's working out, great. You have a business not working out, you know what? What do? You know, if you really have to look at every day as a learning experience, figure out what you're good at, figure out what your partner is good at, figure out if you need a partner and make that work. I've spoke to so many business people. I'm like, oh, they love what they do, hate the paperwork. Hire somebody. I can't hire somebody to do the paperwork. Can't afford it. They just can't this and that. It's like, yeah, is that an excuse? Is that a real reason or not? Look, I go out there, I go take pictures. My pictures stink. A lot of my pictures just not good. Less than desired outcome. What do? I keep snapping photos. I went down to the beach, Hey, Mike, you take nice photos. But I went down to the beach to go take photos. I'm just clicking away, changing settings. You know what I came to realize? I didn't change this stuff. I like got no rhyme or reason to change it. I'm never going to learn how to use a camera. No. It's like I'm just not finding the right resource to use the camera properly. Business, same thing. You hate doing paperwork? Find another way to get that paperwork done. Hire somebody. Outsource it. Doesn't have to be full-time. Maybe get a partner in because you might be also looking for a little assistance on, I don't know, the structure of the business as a business because you're really good at doing what you're doing, but running a business, not really your thing. Dealing with customers, maybe that is. So maybe that partner would bring in additional funding, a little bit more structure, and they really like to do the paperwork. See, there's always different ways to grow. It takes confidence. It takes confidence in understanding just really what your own weaknesses are. Yeah, I'll use that word. And that, my friends, is the key to gaining more confidence by figuring out what you weaken. It sounds stupid, doesn't it? It's really not. You got to understand you, what really drives you, and what really just does not thrill you in the least. And then find a way to delegate it, pay for someone to do it, whatever it is, or find a way to fix it. And have the confidence to screw up along the way. Be safe when you're doing that. Let's not go crazy here. I don't want to learn how to jump out of a plane and not take a lesson to jump out of a plane. And I ain't making my own parachute either. So let's not go crazy on that one. There's risks and there are reasonable risks. Let's figure out that one. But find the resource you need to make it work and have the confidence to come up with a less than desired outcome. You do that, your outcomes will get better. Your progress will continue to improve, and your level of success will continue to grow and grow and grow. And that should never stop. Never stop. Always look for something better. Always look to go. Enjoy the journey. Otherwise, you drive yourself crazy. But enjoy the journey as you continue to grow and deal with those less than desired outcomes and understand that they could be a learning experience. So next time you see your bed that's messy, that's a less than desired outcome. Make your bed, start your day off right, and keep that attitude of everything can be improved on. Might take a little effort, but you can do it. You know what happens when you do it? When you do it, I got to come up with another sentence for that one. When you accomplish that, how's that? That sound better? You're going to speak well, better than I just did. You're going to speak often. Well, we'll let that go by the wayside. You're going to speak well, you're going to speak often and live inspired. And you will inspire others to do exactly the same thing, to keep moving forward, one step at a time, one bike ride at a time, and perhaps one drag race at a time, too. Have a great weekend, a safe weekend, too. No matter where you're on the East Coast, it's going to be raining. So be safe. Be safe. We're back again. I'm not even sure we're back again next week. It's Yom Kippur. I just may let this whole thing just go by replays the whole way through and go. Definitely want to make a big concerted effort, though, to get guests on as we move forward. Not next week, maybe the week after, and do that whole thing. All right. Speak well, my friends. Be good. All right, Maestro. Let's go back with a little bit of music over here. And let's go to rock music. You wouldn't believe it. I got hit with copyright stuff on this music. I don't get that. We got to fix that one too. That was a less than desired outcome. It was in maybe 7 countries. So, who knew? Who knew? Who knew? All right, here we go. Now we're going to add a little bit more to that stuff up in the back over there. Make that look good. And this is coming along. All right, cool. Don't want to block it. It's just don't want to block it. All right, I got to get out of here.